Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome. This is Jackie Bertoni, a special broadcast on Tax Day, April the 15th. Ooh, hasn't a bummer on that one, right? Hey, guys, welcome. It's a beautiful April 15th. It's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm proud and I'm privileged to welcome to the show today one of my musical brothers from the band, iconic rock band, Chicago. Jason Scheff has been with Chicago. It's actually celebrated 30 years last December. So please welcome with open arms and open ears my dear friend, Jason Scheff. Jason, welcome to Jackie's Groove.
Oh, yeah.
Brother Jason, welcome, my brother. I did a nice lead-in for you and talked about your 30-year tenure with Chicago and celebrated that last December. And I'm not only my friend of yours, but I'm a major fan of the band. So welcome to Jackie's Groove, my brother.
So great to be here. I love being part of something that's down in San Diego too, being that those are my stomping grounds.
Absolutely, for many years itself, and it's the whole vibe. The corporation. We're happy. We're happy to bring this vibe to the radio show itself, and be working a lot with a great venue down there called the Music Box on India. I'm sure you know where that's at, formerly Anthology. So we'll pick that up here. But, Jason, let's get right to it. You've done a multitude of interviews, and I'm going to make it a little bit different here. We're not going to go through the cookie-cutter situation. We're going to chop it up, so to speak. So get some of the cliche questions out of the way, and then we'll vibe from there. So to start with that, we know you were born and raised in San Diego. You want to pick it up from there?
Sure, 1962, Mercy Hospital. And I grew up most of my life in Point Loma, going to the beach, surfing with all my pals, Dana Junior High, Sunset View Elementary School, Dana Junior High School, Point Loma High School for the year and 2 months that I attended high school. And one of the best environments to grow up ever. We just thought that that there wasn't a world that existed outside of Point Loma. My wife is from the beach areas in Los Angeles, and she said the same thing. When you're growing up on the beach and surfing, and it's so territorial, and the locals, and get off of my waves and get out of my beach type of deal. That's how we grew up, and I didn't think that anything existed beyond Point Loma.
I got to tell you, I love San Diego. I love the whole vibe. In fact, we'll talk about one of my favorite venues that I've played at many times. And, of course, probably the last time I saw you guys was at a great venue called Humphreys by the Bay. And just probably one of the best venues ever in Shelter Island. So, again, we'll pick that up in a little bit also. But let me ask you a question, Jason. How old were you when you first picked up the instrument called bass?
I picked up the bass, I believe I was 14. It's gotten a little cloudy over the years that it might have been 13, but I really believe it was 14 years old. And it's such a cool thing that happened because my brother Darren is 10 months apart from me, so we're kind of whatever they call like something twins, right? And Darren and I, had our first musical, our bands. We played together, and he was so excited to show me this bass that was hidden in this box in the closet for Christmas. He says, "Come here, man, come here. You got to see this." And there was a wardrobe, a cardboard wardrobe case from like U-Haul or something that had a bunch of clothes in it, and there was this K bass, electric bass, that was stuffed in this thing, and Darren just couldn't control himself, and bless his heart, I love him for that, so much that he couldn't wait to see me get this in my hands. And so we pulled it out, and I was just playing because I had actually started on piano when I was probably about 5 or 6, just started picking out songs, and then Darren had a drum set, and so we kind of, goofed around on all the different instruments. And then I got my first guitar, and my first band that I put together with some of my buddies in the 6th grade, everybody took all the other instruments, and so I said, okay, I'll play bass, but I only had a guitar, so I was playing on the top 4 strings.
Cool.
But it was the weirdest thing, Jackie, because as I was playing, and it was obviously in the wrong register, I could feel that I was playing bass parts. It really felt super comfortable for me, and I believe that comes from my father genetically, And so it was probably about a year or 2 until I got the actual bass. And so 14, I think it was.
And speaking of your father, people may not know that, but your father, Jerry, was a bassist for this guy named Elvis Presley. You want to kind of fill in more of that?
Yeah, basically my father was down in San Diego in the Navy, and it's amazing how life works and, what puts people together. But my mother and father met while, my mother was a singer, and so she'd go and sit in with these bands, and my parents met, and it's pretty well documented. My father wrote a book about it, and it's a really interesting story. It's a cool story that I love to share with kids, especially from broken homes, because my parents basically got in trouble, and they did the right thing. They had me, they got married, and they gave it the old college try, and it just didn't work out. But so he left. Darren was born 10 months later, like I was saying, and then he left for L.A., and this was I was probably 3 years old, so I'd say maybe 1965-ish. He went to Los Angeles, somewhere around then. And actually he went to, I think, Palm Springs first, and then got out to L.A. and started getting session work because it was booming, a lot of studio work. And my father is one of the greatest bass players that ever lived and just has such a beautiful touch for recording and note value and everything. Just great feel. And so he started getting a lot of session work and a lot of stuff I didn't even really know because we didn't really have a lot of contact with him over the years. And but to find out later that, he was the bass player on the L.A. Woman album, The Doors, Riders
Really?
on the Storm. Oh, yeah, it's my dad, right? And he came, one time it was really great, was that he came to take me and Darren to Big Bear for Christmas. And we were, it was 1969, I believe. Let me scroll back real quickly before that. He came to town with the Fifth Dimension. He was playing on tour with the Fifth Dimension. And so I went to the concert, and so I met these people, and I didn't really know what their music was. I just met these nice people my dad was with. Next thing I know, I'm sitting in the audience, and I see these people, my friends I just met, up there singing Up and Away in my beautiful, and I'm going,
too cool.
Whoa, that's them, because I was hearing this stuff all over the radio.
Jason, I'm going to jump in here real quick. I hate to interrupt you, Ryan. We're kind of trailing down on the first segment itself.
Okay.
This is the natural progression here. I'm going to write this down. We're going to pick this up on segment number 2.
Perfect.
Because who doesn't know the Fifth Dimension, of course, and I'm more intrigued by that. So when we come back on segment number 2, we'll be back with Jerry Scheff, vocalist, bassist with the iconic rock band Chicago. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove on a special broadcast on April 15th. Don't go away. We'll be right back after these short messages. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
The richness of your life is reflected in the shimmering elegance found at Diolune Design. One-of-a-kind jewelry and pieces from Cynthia Dillon in silver and gold help to express your unique personality. The flowing designs of her creations will empower the way you move throughout your day. Join us online at DIOLUNdesigns.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
In the military, things can change in an instant. At Navy Mutual Aid Association, we understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military veterans and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Welcome back. This is Jackie Bertoni, segment number 2 on Jackie's Groove. I'm talking to my musical brother, vocalist, bassist with Chicago for the past 30 years, Jason Scheff. Jason, welcome back to the show. Heart of Mine, co-written by you, my brother. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely, and let's make a note of that because I want to circle back to that to tell you the story that literally launched my career to join Chicago, and it's a pretty fun story.
Yeah, we'll pick that up because that was one of my next questions in the next couple of segments itself. You know, we left off the last segment. We talked about your brother Darren, and we talked about your father Jerry, and with the Fifth Dimension. And why don't you pick up where we left off on that? 'Cause I think it was pretty intriguing, the fact that you guys were out in the audience and you're finally vibing on what your father's doing, and you knew the music he was playing. So go on from there.
Yeah. So he was up there with the Fifth Dimension, and they're playing Up, Up, and Away, and then playing Let the Sun Shine, Let the Sun Shine, right? Aquarius. This
Absolutely.
is the dawning of the age, right? And I'm just flipping out, going, wow, that's on the radio. And I thought that my dad was on the radio too, but not on those songs, apparently.
Right.
You know, he was touring with them, but he was busy doing all these other sessions, of course. And so I loved these people, and not to go too much on a tangent, but real quickly, when I did Solid Gold with Chicago, and did Will You Still Love Me, when that became a hit, Marilyn McCoo was hosting, and it was so fun to be able to tell her, Marilyn, I'm going to blow your mind now here a little bit. I saw you when I was, I think, 7 years old in San Diego when my dad was playing with you in the Fifth Dimension. I'm Jason Scheff, Jerry's son, and she loved it, man. It was so cool. So real quickly to go back to that. So they...
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, so we finished that awesome experience of going and seeing the Fifth Dimension. And then a year later, this is 1968-ish, yeah, I think it was 68. Yeah, so I'm six years old. And then Dad says, I want to take you and Darren to Big Bear for Christmas. And it was the coolest thing because he shows up at school, and since we didn't really have much of a relationship with him because he was in L.A. and he was, becoming this studio giant and was pursuing his dreams, that all I had going to school was to tell my friends whose, parents were around, of course, that, my dad's Elvis Presley, or no, not Elvis Presley's bass player, but my dad's a musician and blah, blah, blah. Well, he comes to pick us up, and it was like this rock star shows up, and he had a blue Ford Bronco, and I was so proud of him, and everybody's looking at, this guy's like a rock star. And so I said, how's Fifth Dimension doing, Dad? How are they doing? And he goes, well, I'm not with them anymore, and my heart broke. I'm just going, wow, so he's not a rock star anymore? He's not doing that? He said, no, I actually got another job, and I think it's better. I said, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm playing for Elvis Presley.
That is so cool.
Wow. So 1969, Darren and I go up, and Dad, and his wife Vivian at the time was very sweet. I stay in touch with her. Had this great holiday season, and he was just starting to play with Elvis Presley. Elvis handpicked a real A-list band. Actually had James Burton do it, and so that was when he started that.
Yeah, it's so cool. My cousin Steve Barilli from the Bronx in New York, huge Elvis fan, and actually had the honor of actually doing one of his album covers. Don't hold me to which album cover it was. I can see it in my eyes. But of course, my cousin Steve makes the pilgrimage to Graceland every year, so that's another story here on Oprah. But yeah, man, it's a cool situation all the way around. But how cool for you to visit, to view your father as that rock star, and then later in life to have your children, which I want to find out about in a second, about Dad the rock star. And with that said, talk to me about your kids.
Well, yeah, and I'll just lead with that by saying those are the lessons that I learned, Jackie, that coming up and really not having a father around, even though my parents got divorced and there really wasn't a real, husband-wife relationship past a couple of years that they gave it the college try. I've missed so much of my kids' lives, and I know what that feels like, and so even if, I think about this, and I really was able to cut my parents some slack, trying to fill in that blank of how come, I didn't have my parents together, but even if they were together, he would have been gone all the time like I am. So it's like, you're still going to end up on the shrink's couch no matter what if your parent is
Absolutely.
is a touring musician, right? But so my kids, man, they are the greatest. Starting with my stepkids, I met my wife, around 90, 91, and she had these beautiful children, Kaylee and Clark, who were 6 and 4 years old, and we became a family. And I raised those kids with Tracy, and they're just. I always call Clark my firstborn. And all of a sudden along the way, Tracy and I had our own children, JJ, we call Jason.
Cool.
He's not a junior because his middle name is Jerry, after my father. And JJ just turned 18. Connor is 14, going to be 15 in July, and they're both extremely musical. JJ's just going off back in, in his little studio, working on all kinds of great music. So he's up and coming. Connor, plays drums and bass. He's a little freak, man. He's in a few bands, and just a serious musical environment.
Jason, do your kids get it? And other stuff. I mean, do they understand that their dad is with Chicago?
Oh, they sure do. In fact,
okay.
The first time that JJ, I could see him putting it together. We were out touring, and he was probably a year old, maybe not even that. And we were doing a winter tour to support a Christmas album that we had out, and we had this fake snow that was coming down. And, my son was in the first row with my wife, and he had his little white winter coat on. And I'll never forget, seeing him looking up and seeing the snowflakes dropping, which were the soap suds.
Right.
The snowflakes dropping, and he was, just mesmerized. And all of a sudden he looked up on stage and saw me, and I could just see his face light up that he put it together that was me up there. So that was the first time. It's great.
Inspiration, man, is what it's all about. The last gig I was with you at was at Pechanga here in Temecula. It was latter part of last year. Uh-huh. And we didn't get a chance to talk that much there because it was. I was enamored by this. You had, I think it was your music teacher or one of the guys, that older gentleman that was there, that was with you forever. I mean, I noticed that he was, as myself, were both handicapped. So he was sitting there, and I just noticed that every time you took a break, you were back with him, talking to him, man. And the look on his face, I think it was his wife that was with him also. I just thought that was so cool that you included him in that. And I think it was that you told me that was it your music teacher or music inspiration?
He was the guy that when I was 16, and I told you I lasted about a year and 2 or 3 months in high school. I left high school, which I don't advocate. I was proud of it because I ended up, I knew what I wanted to do, but I don't like influencing kids to not finish school. But that's what I did. I left, and then I got this gig in San Diego at the Hilton Hotel on Mission Bay.
Right.
And it was the cake gig in town. This guy had this gig forever. John Auzin, A-U-Z-I-N, and the band was called the People Movers. And check this out, Jackie. He had a bass player who had just gone to L.A. full-time because he was splitting time between doing sessions during the day in L.A. and coming down to do his top 40 gig. And finally he says, I just gotta do this. And I went to his going-away party. I wasn't anywhere near getting that gig. I didn't think I was really qualified for it. But I went to his going-away party, and I'll never forget it. It was 1978. It was Nathan East. Nathan was heading to L.A. And so Nathan was the bass player in John Auzin's band. And my mom took me in to sit in with him when I was about 15, I think. So I'd had a bass a year, right? And John remembered me. My mom and John were friends from back in the late 50s. She'd go and sing. He did a piano bar thing, the Mexican Village in Coronado. And he'd come over to my grandmother's house, and they'd play records and sing, and they were big music freaks. So my mom took me into John's gig and said, can my son sit in? And that was always the fun thing where they'd kind of go, well, okay,
right.
Thinking they're going to humor, but I was well into the music, so I was starting to make some noise down there. So I went and sat in with them when I was 15, and when Nathan split, John thought of me, but he just was, this guy's too young, so he hired this bass player, and I had just left school to go play in a top 40 band with my friend Sam Barris up in Seattle, Washington. And so I was on the road. I had just
Jason, I'm gonna interrupt you one more time, brother. Again, that clock is ticking down. I'm gonna pick this up when we come back on the next segment number 3. Let's talk about. We'll get back to the story, which is intriguing, but let's talk about why we had the special broadcast going on today. Something very, very special that you're doing. Something very unselfish. So when we get back on segment number 3, this is Jackie Bertoni. We'll be picking it up with Jason Scheff. This is Jackie's Groove. Don't go anywhere. We've got some great news ahead of you. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
One person has the power to change the world, impact millions of lives, and leave a legacy for lifetimes to come. That person is you. In the New York Times bestseller, What is Your What? Steve Olsher, award-winning author and founder of the Reinvention Workshop, reveals his proven process that has helped thousands of men and women discover, share, and monetize the one thing they were born to do. Grab your free copy now at www.whatisyourwhat.com/free. That's www.whatisyourwhat.com/free.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Definitely one of my favorite songs. The song is entitled Now from Chicago's latest album called Now. So def yourself and pick it up at your, is there such thing as record stores anymore? Go online. Patronize the boys. The album is amazing. We'll play another couple tracks off that tune. Folks, this is Jackie Bertoni. We're back for segment number 3 on Jackie's Groove. I'm on the line right now with my musical brother, bassist, vocalist, all-around great guy, Jason Scheff. Jason, welcome back.
Good to be here. I'm really loving this. Fun.
Hey, Jason, let's talk about the reason, because my show normally airs on Monday at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, but we decided to do this because Jason, the unselfish man that he is, he's doing something very unusual, and it's a I'm just going to kind of preface the whole thing by saying, if you want a piece of musical history, I want you to sign on to Jason's website. It's www.win, bass.com. Again, www.winmybass.com. Jason, tell people what you're doing.
Okay. Basically, BASSICALLY.
See what you did?
I'm currently on tour in an arena tour with Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire. This is the fourth time we've done this, and it's just off the charts. I mean, it's the coolest thing, Jackie, to be at this stage of our career and to be out there, you know, selling out Madison Square Garden, all the big venues in these cities that we're playing. We're playing really fun places. So I started playing a bass by one of my favorite guys in the world, Dan Lakin, who started the Lakeland Bass Company back, I think, 20 years ago. And I would consider him like a modern-day Leo Fender, because this guy came into the bass market and really made a bass that felt like you'd owned it for 20, 30 years, you know, cool. Worked in, beautiful electronics, really the highest standards. And so I became a Lakeland endorser, as well as a ton of bass players around the planet. This really became, like I said, one of the biggest stories of modern bass making. So Dan started a new company called D. Lakin Basses, and I have come full circle and just gone back to a jazz bass, Fender jazz bass style. That was what I used at the Hilton Hotel growing up in San Diego. It feels like an extension of my body, so the size, you know, the neck and everything feels so comfortable. And I decided on this tour that I wanted to give it away.
Wow.
Also, the fact that Chicago was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We just went and did the induction ceremonies, which was just unbelievable. Danny Seraphin came and joined us, and, you know, we haven't really been involved with him in 25 years, so it was incredible to actually connect with Danny and, you know, and just
I had Danny's fuck meter going, just to see how many times he said that on there. I mean, you're talking about the quintessential Italian. He was dropping the F-bombs everywhere, and I thought that was classic. I mean, I saw because you periscoped and your family periscoped that also, too. So everybody definitely check in at the end of the month. I think it's April 30th that Chicago is honored by being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think, if I can give a little spoiler alert, Rob Thomas is bringing you in. Is he inducting you? Correct me if I'm wrong?
That's exactly right. And so, again, you know, I would highly recommend everybody go to winmybass.com and enter this, because on the 30th, that's the last, you know, one of the last days of the contest. You'll see the bass you're going to win, because I played it during our induction ceremonies, and we played 3 songs. Saturday in the Park. Does anybody know what time it is? And we did 25 or 6 to 4, which I sang. So if you want that bass, it's a piece of rock and roll history. It's, you know, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. So I thought about this, and people were loving the idea of it. So there it is. So go grab it. You know, you don't even have to be a bass player.
And what prompted you? What inspired you to do this? I mean, my God, you're giving away a piece of history, and nobody has to do anything else but go in and pound that site and get there the entry. Why would you give a piece of history away? I'm dumbfounded by this. Tell me what was the inspiration of doing this? Well,
a couple of things. You know, and I'm a guy about transparency. You know, I love when people, you know, really tell things the way it is. First and foremost, like I said, you know, I just felt that at this point in my career, I've been with this band for 30 years. We just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're playing an arena tour, and people they come out and they tell us how much we've inspired them in their lives, and I thought, you know what, I want to give this piece of time in history into anybody who wants to get into that. The other side of it is that, we're working with some people on how to expand the reach of the band and everything, and so I'm demonstrating how to do this, because obviously giving an instrument away like this is generating a lot of buzz. It's generating a lot of buzz, and so I'm basically leading on how to connect with people and fan bases, So,
brother, truly selfless, brother. I mean, truly selfless. It's it's amazing. And I wanted to go back because again, I was telling you before, and we'll touch more on winmybass.com. But the gentleman that I met with you at Pachanga, the casino gig, you left off by saying that Nate East, who will be on the show soon, also. I'm pretty proud of that, also. But Nate had left that gig. And you were hoping to step into his shoes. We left off. We didn't finish up. Tell me about that part.
I was not hoping to step into his shoes because I didn't think that was like the furthest thing from my mind. What happened was I went on this gig with Sam Barris up to Seattle, and John hired a bass player that, as he said later, was more of a country and western bass player. So that, I don't envy anybody stepping in after Nathan East to be the bass player in a band. But I got back from my 3 or 4 week gig in Seattle, and I was going to live in L.A. My mom was up in L.A., and so I said, okay, I'm out of school. I'm going to live in L.A. And right when I stopped through, she said, John Ozen needs you to go down and audition for that gig because the bass player didn't work out. And apparently he had said, I know he's too young, but I heard him, and I want him to come down and audition for this. So I kept going down to San Diego, and I showed up, and John said, okay, I've heard you play. Can you sing? I said, no. And by the way, my mother was pounding on me for years to be a singer, pounding on me. I said, I don't want to do that, man. That's, because I hate the sound of my voice and blah, blah, blah. And that's not cool. I want to be tough. And so John said, he asked, do you sing? And I said, no. And he says, well, you have to on this gig because Nathan sang. Whenever I see Nathan, I always laugh and just go, it's because of you, man. It's because of you. You forced me to start singing, and we laugh about it. You can ask him about that when he comes on your show, too. I hope you remind him. But I said, he said, you have to because Nathan sang. So I said, well, okay, I'll try. And then something happened, Jackie, that I think has served me my entire life, and I love to pass this on to people, that he said, what do you want to try? And I looked at his set list, and I didn't think to try and be safe and be careful, and, well, since I'm really not a singer, let me find something that I won't sound bad in. I just saw a song that I thought, wow, I love that. That's on the radio. So why don't we try Just the Way You Are? I mean, don't go changing to try and please me. You never let me down before. I mean, talk about the rangiest song you could, right? And so he starts playing it, and I hack through it, and I guess he spotted some potential. But to this day, I always tell people, I didn't know what I didn't know, so I'm willing to try anything, right? And so to this day, when people say, what's the highest note that you sang? I say, I don't know. I'll try anything. And I think that lack of self-imposed limitation is so important, man, because I see people that have so much, even like especially singers, that have so much ability that talk themselves out of it. So,
Jason, we're going to be winding. Can you believe this already? We're going into segment number 4, the first hour out of a 2-hour interview that we haven't even scratched the surface yet. And so when we get back, Jason, you've inspired a multitude of young players, a multitude of older players. You've inspired me. When we get back, I'm going to talk about who inspired you. Okay. And we all have a little certain thing that we have, a little vibe. So when we come back on segment number 4 on Jackie's Groove, we're going to pick that up where we left off. And I'm sitting here proud and privileged to talk to my in-studio guest today. Please welcome back on segment number 4 when we get back, Mr. Jerry Scheff from the iconic rock group Chicago. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Attention business owners. Does it feel like your business owns you? See if you qualify for a free 90-minute business coaching session to help you build a business, not a job. During this free 90-minute strategic consultation, one of our senior coaches will help you map out the best way to grow your company and get your life back. To learn more, go to MauiMasterminds.com/scale now. That's MauiMasterminds.com/scale now.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Love lives on with or without people in it. The path that follows has no limit. Everything we do goes beyond. And even what we leave behind us, someday will come back to find us. I'm telling you that we're that strong. What we had is never gone. Love lives
Understatement. Love definitely lives on, and it's living on to segment number 4. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove, and as I said earlier, I'm proud and privileged to have with me today my dear friend, bassist, vocalist extraordinaire from the iconic rock group Chicago. Welcome back, Jason Scheff. Jason, you know, as I said, we have this special broadcast today on April 15th, but you know what? A little bird told me something, and of course, we always want to sit there and extend our love to you also. I understand it is your birthday, so with that said, Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jason. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Sorry about the bad harmonies, guys.
Don't be a whore. All right, brother. Even with the delay, it sounded great. So happy birthday, brother. Tomorrow, the 16th.
Yes.
A blessed day. Go ahead. Go talk about it.
Tomorrow's my 54th birthday, and I have met so many people with my actual birthday. Well, not the same year. I've met a few of those, but I've met more people with April 16th birthdays, and it's just fantastic and fun. In fact, one of my favorite stories was I was on a flight from the East Coast out to L.A., and I sit down next to this guy, and I kind of recognize him. Next thing I know, he pulls out his laptop, and he's got some cool program open where he had a service where he was evaluating people's songs that they sent in, and so I said, "Hey, man, I don't mean to be nosy, but that's awesome. What is that?" He really lit up and said, "Oh, this is what, one of my platforms that I do, blah, blah, blah." And we just got talking about, the new media and connecting with people. And I said, "Yeah, I love this kind of stuff because in April, I'll be 50 years old." I was 49, obviously. I said, "In April, I'll be 50 years old." And he looks at me and he goes, "Not the 16th. And I go, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "Yeah, it was Akon, right?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, "Not the 16th. I said, "Yes, you too." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "I met more people with that birthday. It's crazy."
You're still in Aries, correct?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because I think it's the 19th is the cutoff because mine will be the 26th of this month as a Taurus, the quintessential bull, and I'll be turning a ripe age of 56. So it's
wow.
Yeah, every day God gives us another year to breathe. Man, I'm a happy man. I'll tell you all the way around. And speaking of happy man, along with these songs like "You're My Inspiration" and as we just heard "Now" and "Love Lives On," 25 to 6 to 4. Let me ask you a question. This is always burning, and of course, my closest brothers are your bandmates, Wilfredo Reyes Jr., who sits on the percussion chair, and my dear friend for years, Tristan Bowden, on drums. And that's my inspiration because these boys are my brothers. They're my musical brothers itself. And we always talked about, all the people that you inspired. But let me ask you a question as I left off on the last segment. Who inspired Jason? Who inspires Jason to this day?
Well, imagine when you picked up the instrument of your choice that you've carved a career out in. The very first person that you were lit up, that made you want to play the instrument. I love asking this question to people, guitar players. Oh, it's Jimi Hendrix. It was Eric Clapton. Oh, it was, Jeff Beck or whatever it is. And say, okay, imagine that. And then all of a sudden, one day, you get to share a stage with that person playing arena tours. Verdine White is one of the top 3 bass players that influenced me. And I not only get to be, incredible friends with this guy, but we're collaborators. We work on, in fact, I had him play bass on that song Now you heard. That's Verdine. I said,
is that really Verdine?
Yes. I said, you got to play. He wanted to. I pitched that song actually as a duet for Chicago and Earth, Wind and Fire back on the first tour, but it just hasn't happened. But way back then, he's like, I got to play on that. And I said, yes, you do. And I remember a good friend of mine, when I said I was going to get Verdine to play on it, said, why? Your bass part's awesome. And I did pretty good on the original recording. And I said, thank you, but you'll see why, right? And so Verdine, I'd say the first guy that probably, I wasn't really playing yet, but the first guy that probably really started getting into my DNA is Dee Murray of Elton John's band. Yes. Because, when you hear me play, I slide into notes a lot. Boom, da 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 dum, dum dum, da da dum, da 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 da, right? And that's Dee Murray. And, that almost kind of sounds like fretless, but it's sliding into the note. Let alone the fact that he was a hardcore R&B bass player. Listen to Benny and the Jets, listen to Honky Cat, listen to all that stuff. pure funk, man. And so I always had that really grabbing my ear. So I would say that Dee Murray, then Verdine White, and then Jaco Pastorius, without question.
God bless him. You know, how do you think or say the word Verdine White without that big smile and that praying mantis swagger that he has on stage? I mean, to this day, he's still got that. You know, and God bless his brother Maurice, in which we just lost a couple months ago. So, yeah, man, you know, it's that ability to get on. I mean, when I saw you guys, as I told Wilfredo this a while back on my few shows ago, when I saw you guys with the Earth, Wind & Fire Chicago tour about 5 years ago, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it at all. I mean, I just didn't, you know, you have two of these iconic bands up on stage, and then all of a sudden there's this mishmash of players up on stage, and then I don't know what happened, what morphed into this new show with this massive screens behind you. And I mean, who needs to do acid or anything like that at all? I mean, it's a virtual plethora and a potpourri of colors, and it works. And at the end of the show, when I think it's like 26 players on stage together, or maybe not that much, but all I know it is, but when John playing drums and Tris playing drums, and well, I mean, it's just amazing. And watching you vibe and watching you sing their songs and vice versa. My God, people, spend that last ducat and go out and get a ticket and check on ChicagoTheBand.com and also Earth, Wind & Fire and see where they're coming to a town near you. It's definitely well worth the money spent. I'm a fan. What can I say? I'm a fan. And, you know, can you believe it, my brother? We are already at the first hour. And normally with my cheat sheet here, I've already gone to the second page. I still have got 4 more questions on the first page, and we're going into the fourth segment, the second hour on Jackie's Groove with my dear friend, iconic bass player, vocalist with the band Chicago, Jason Scheff. Jason, we're going to pick it up on the next segment, and we're gonna mosh it up some more. I'm going to ask you some questions that I won't make it uncomfortable, but we're going to see how far you want to go and expand on your crazy road stories and things you did and things you didn't do and things you wanted to do. So we'll pick it up, man. And I'm gracious. I'm thankful that you would bestow your greatness on my show. And again, speaking of my show, this is Jackie Bertoni. This is Jackie's Groove, and we're powered by Intertalk Radio, your music industry insider. And we're pretty proud of what we're doing. So if you like what you're hearing, please pass the word. We'll be right back on segment number 4. Jason, we're going to have a little bit of an extended break to regroup for the second segment on segment number 5. And we'll be right back after these short word messages. And this is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Jason Scheff.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Progressive Medical.
Hey, this is Heidi Rue, and you know, Progressive Medical Center has literally changed my life and my health, but I'm not the only one. Adele suffered from bone deterioration, bone overgrowth, profound muscle discomfort, physical exhaustion, and mental fog. In fact, the bone deterioration becomes so serious that she had to have back surgery. Well, after the surgery, she still didn't feel well, and so that's when she heard about Progressive Medical Center. Progressive Medical Center discovered that her adrenals weren't working properly, her hormones were out of whack, and the drugs she had been taking were doing more harm than good. Adele came into Progressive Medical Center in a walker, physically and mentally exhausted. But now she's a world traveler. She hikes and walks several miles a day, and it's all thanks to Progressive Medical Center. 770-676-6000. 770-676-6000.
Progressive Medical. This is your life. Live it well.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Everybody, welcome back to segment number 5. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove, brought to you by Intertalk Radio, your music industry insider. And I want to take a couple seconds out and thank our sponsors, the ones who help us progress and pay for the lights in this place. And I want to welcome our dear friends at SIR Studio Instrument Rentals, where they've got everything that you need for backline. And you can visit them at www.sir-usa.com. Our friends at Pitbull Audio, Calvin Lee and the Motley Crew over there at pitbullaudio.com, where they just want you to play it loud. And, of course, I'm a little bit biased to these people. People have endorsed me for the past 26 years. LP Music Group, now part of the proud DW Drum family. So, guys, thank you very much for your support. And, I'm back here on segment number 5, the second hour of a 2-hour interview with the gentleman that I have online right now that is responsible for the bass sounds and lines of songs like Hard to Say I'm Sorry and You're the Inspiration, If You Leave Me Now, one of my favorite songs, 25 to 6 to 4, Saturday in the Park, Will You Still Love Me, Just You and Me Make Me Smile. I can go ahead and talk on and on and on, but let's stop talking about their hits and let's talk about the person that brings those to life. On my show today, my dear friend, amazing bass player and vocalist, please welcome back everybody with open ears and open arms, Jason Scheff. Jason, welcome back.
Thank you, and I am responsible for the sound of those songs live. I need to clarify
of
that
course.
For any of these nice listeners out there, that I am the lucky recipient to have stepped in when one of the greatest vocalists, songwriters, and bass players in the world created an opening for me to join Chicago, Peter Cetera. So
right. I
stepped in and I'm brand new, man. I just joined 30 years ago, so I'm brand spanking new.
you know what's really amazing too when you talk about stepping into that situation. I've been blessed over the years to work with the greatest horn bands. I got my start in 1979 with a small group out of Oakland, California called the Tower of Power, and I'm being sarcastic, but of course, getting ready to celebrate 50 years in the next year and a half, and also my relationship with the great Christian jazz group in Jerry Hay, Kim Hutchcroft, and Larry Williams of the group called Seawind. And, of course, then let's talk about the iconic and the unmistakable sound of the horns that blast behind and in front of you, the Chicago horn section. So, I mean, what a great situation. Every time I go to a Chicago show, it never gets old. When you're sitting there hour and a half to 2 hour show when you're doing your own show itself. And every song is a hit. It's amazing. And I can't help but smile. And again, thank you for doing that. So Jason, with that said, with all the touring that you do, what is the longest time on the road with Chicago?
Well, we don't really go nothing past 5 weeks, and they try and keep it down to 3.5 to 4 weeks. So that's pretty much it. There have been a couple times where we were out there for 6 weeks. That's too long. It really is. So the days of them staying out for 6 months at a time ended in the mid-'70s, I think.
And Jason, with that said, when you're out on the road, I mean, I'm sure everybody's got their favorite little vibe, favorite places they want to go. Can you stop and think for a quick second? Is there a particular city, is there a particular state, is there a particular country that draws Jason that you look forward to going to?
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Tell me.
It's called home.
Yeah. Bravo.
I've been gone so much of my life and my family's life that it's funny. People ask that question, and I've been so many places, so many times, and what's really the truth is that there's this awesome city in this great country called home.
What a great answer, man. That's the first time I've heard that. Thank you. That's a great, great, great answer. Nothing like home. Home is where the heart is, as they say, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And let's talk about another favorite place itself, your stomach. What does Jason like to put in his tummy?
Too much sugar, too many carbs.
I'm right there with you.
Oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what, though. Indian food is my favorite food on the planet.
Really?
And very hot. I love spicy Indian food. Yep. My favorite.
The old saying is an hour after you've had Indian food, you wish you had Chinese food, right?
Actually, I find that, if you're able to take it home, that more Indian food, like an hour or two later, because usually it's loaded with so much salt that it just kind of makes you go, okay, I need to keep the salt supply up because it's dipping an hour later. But I just love it. I just love it to death. Again, it's something that sustains you every day. Jason, I was talking a couple days ago to a friend of mine on the line, actually Al Jarreau's manager, who's coming aboard here in the next few months. So I'm pretty excited about that also. And as Jackie's Groove gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I flourish because of people like you and people like the guests that I've had prior and so on. And you mentioned a little while ago how you went back to the 4-string bass. I remember one of my interviews with Al Di Meola. Al has always said when he has a bass player that comes in, if he has more than 4 strings, he tells them to take it off, remove 2 strings, get back to the basis. He'll play the guitar notes. Stick with what you know best. And that's a cool vibe because I'm amazed. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, but when I'm watching you on stage where you're singing, you're strumming the bass, and you're hitting those high notes, man, and you're walking around, it's impressive. Are you still having fun after all of these years? Oh, absolutely. I think as a tenor voice, it gets harder every year. Quite frankly, it is at the top of your what your vocal cords are capable of, and I still go and get lessons and vocalize daily. In fact, I got a quick story if you want it.
Go.
I ran into Phil Ramone, took me down to the studio when he was recording Tony Bennett's last duets album, and rest in peace, Phil. I just loved that man.
God bless.
And so he took me down there, and I remember, living in Nashville, the climate is very strange. They've got some kind of weird, not quite a pollen thing, but there's something going on down there it's really weird because you wouldn't expect it, but it's not really the greatest city for singers to live in because it rips your voice up, and especially over the holidays when it gets super dry. We're on the road, in a bunch of real humid cities, so that's good for the voice. But then I'd get off the road and I'd go back to Nashville and think, okay, I got to rest a little bit, and then I'd lose my voice. I lost my voice for the first couple of years that I was there over the holidays, and I frankly thought I was on my way out. I thought, this is the beginning of the end of my career, so I was really kind of tripping on it a little bit, and when Tony Bennett came through town, I found myself in the control room, and I said to him at one point, I said, Mr. Bennett, as we were introduced earlier, and it was just me, him, and Nashville's finest piano tuner, 3 people, so very quiet. And I said, Mr. Bennett, as we were introduced earlier, I sang, and it was hard. I was kind of having a hard time even getting that word out to Tony Bennett. I sang for Chicago, and he looked at me and goes, just looks you right in the eye, none of this flitty stuff, looking around the room, and he goes, first of all, I wanted to say that out of that era, I love that band. That's a great band. You guys were great. And I said, I can't wait to tell the original guys. And I said, but what I wanted to tell you is that I've been having vocal problems, and I've thought of you because I really thought that I was maybe losing my voice. But there was one stone that was not left unturned, because I'd come home and I'd rest, but realized that was probably not the best thing for me to do, at least not more than a couple days.
Right.
And I thought, I remembered hearing Tony Bennett vocalizes every day, and he looks at me, Jackie, and he goes, absolutely, because it doesn't take much. 15 minutes a day. And I'm tripping, going, man, I'm sitting there going, I can't get through my 30, 40-minute vocal lesson tape. But here's Tony Bennett hitting these key points that it doesn't take much, but it's a consistency every day. So he says, it doesn't take much, 15 minutes a day. And he said, because when a singer gets wobbly, and then you know exactly what he's talking about, some older singer that's, and he goes, when a singer gets wobbly, and you got to know, he's staring me down when he's saying this. He goes, when a singer gets wobbly, they don't care anymore. Whoa. And he says, they've lost their love for singing. You know what I say to somebody who's lost their love for singing? Don't do it. Perfect. And man, and I'm like sitting there kind of like trying to make excuses, but I'm telling the truth. I said, well, I've gone back to my tapes, but it's just kind of hard. I left that studio and I asked myself for the first time, because I've always sort of reserved this one place in my mind that, yeah, I'm the guy that replaced Peter Cetera, so I'm not really 100% the real deal. I'm just, I know what I do and I'm comfortable with it, but that's the real guy. And I had Tony Bennett challenging me to think, Jason, do you love to sing? Truly. Forget any of the trips that you've ever been through of like going out on the big stage with that, but do you love to sing? And I closed my eyes, Jackie, and I thought,
there's that music. Well, let's pick that up, man, on segment number 6. I hate to cut it off, man. I hate that freaking timer. This is Jackie Bertoni. We're tuning to Jackie's Groove with Jason Scheff. We'll be right back after these short messages. Don't go anywhere. We're going to pick that right up. Sorry about that, my brother.
No, that's perfect. That's a cliffhanger.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
In the military, things can change in an instant. The Navy Mutual Aid Association, We understand because it's our life too. That's why our dedication to serving the life insurance needs of our military, veterans, and their families is unrivaled. Navy Mutual offers superior life insurance protection without military service restrictions and limitations. A single focus on providing the peace of mind military families are looking for. That's what we do. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Call 800-628-6011 or go to NavyMutual.org.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect. Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Of a 2-hour interview on Jackie's Groove. I'm on the line right now with my dear friend, amazing bassist, vocalist with the iconic rock group Chicago. Please welcome back with open ears and open arms, Mr. Jerry Scheff. Jason, you know, I'm sitting here on this cliffhanger, this edge, and I'm flailing my arms because I don't want to fall off. We're going to pick up where we left off on 5, talking about one of my favorite classic singers. To me, far superior than that man called Blue Eyes, just in my opinion, of course. But pick up where we left off about you with this sit down with Tony Bennett.
Yeah, do you love to sing? I mean, what a great question, because it made me think of joining a band like this, and immediately you're going to be scrutinized. I mean, come on, you're replacing Peter Cetera at the peak of their career. Now, I was not the guy that you would walk into a nightclub before I joined this band and hear me and go, that kid's going places as a singer, you know. I wasn't really 100% taking it seriously. As a bass player, absolutely, you know. But I was starting to study vocals, study singing with the great Seth Riggs. But when I got this gig, luckily my wheelhouse was in the studio. So the song you were playing, the last song that you played leading in, was called Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now in Chicago 18, which has its own incredible story of when I went in to do the vocals on that song. But that was the first song that I brought to the table, and it reminded me again of what that experience was of having the headphones at the microphone. That was the first song I sang on Chicago 18. You know, with David.
Yeah, that was back in 1986, which blows me out of the water when you think about this. I mean, my wife and I are going on 33 years of marriage, so that's my barometer of how far back that goes. And you said David Foster was on that album?
Yeah, let me finish because I think this is probably a good way to tie both of these stories in together. But so when Tony Bennett was basically challenging me, saying, you know what I say to a singer who's lost their love for singing, don't do it. I left there thinking, have I ever loved it? Or was it just something that just happened, you know, for me and to me that I, you know, obviously developed into really being comfortable. Right. But that was not my passion. I wanted to be a bass player like Nathan East and my father, and I started singing, but I got this opportunity, and the next thing you know, I'm in recording Chicago 18, and Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now was the very first song I did. So when I walked out there, and I said to myself, you know, we've helped make a lot of people happy with the music we've made since I've been with this group. I've written a couple of big hits for the band. I co-wrote and I produced the title track of Chicago 36, the song Now. So I've heard from the people, you've really helped me. You've helped things happen in my life to make them smoother or whatever. But truthfully, I'm going, do you love doing this? And I got quiet and I closed my eyes and I thought, I absolutely love to sing. And you know where that comes from is with a pair of headphones on at a microphone with things sounding really great, not in front of a bunch of people,
right,
but by myself. Nobody has to be there. But hearing that fantasy land of being able to really put a big vocal extravaganza, I call it, together, and that was my wheelhouse. A lot of vocal crafting and working with the great Bill Champlin. So the answer all of a sudden became, I adore singing, and it spread out from there, Jackie, to going, well, you know what? Then own it. And from that point on, I'm telling you, I have felt completely different walking on stage with this band. I'm proud of what I've done before that day and everything, but I finally dropped the rock, and I was not worried about comparisons to anything. I love to do it. And that came from Tony.
Jason, let me ask you this question. Do you still get nervous before you go on stage? A good nervous?
The answer is no. And the funny thing is, when we took the stage for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that was a pinnacle moment for me because, everybody's out there, Right. Two things. That, and we played Clive Davis's pre-Grammy party this year, and talk about everybody being there. That was incredible, who was in that audience. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm sitting there with Robin Zander and Tom Peterson and Rick Nielsen sitting right in front of me at that table. I look over to the table with Deep Purple and David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes are buddies of mine, and they're sitting there cheering me on. We walk into the Barclays Center, which is completely sold out, and I'm telling you, I felt 100% comfortable, never felt nervous, and I hear that we really did well. I don't like to go back and listen and watch those things, but
right.
It felt to me like we absolutely killed it, and it was a great moment because not 1 ounce of fear at all.
I'm watching your Periscope. I'm watching the Periscope from people who are sharing Periscopes, and I got to be honest with you. I'm sitting here in my studio, and I'm watching this on my iPhone, and I got to be honest with you. I was cheering you guys on. I was, it's, again, you and our relationship is new, but again, Wally and Trish, we go back 20 plus years, and I was touched, man. I was just so blessed to go, how cool is this? And my wife said to me, she goes, I'm listening to you on the phone a couple days ago, and you're talking about Chicago, and you're talking about Al Di Meola, and you're talking about Al Jarreau, and you're talking about HBO and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She goes, I'm just kind of blown away. She goes, all of a sudden now you've entered into a new segment of my life of all these new things and, being behind the mic on a radio show. And it's inspiring, man, because people like you have inspired me. And, and with that said, without being bored or doing the same thing over and over again, does Jason Scheff have a favorite song of Chicago that he looks forward to singing to nightly?
I'll tell you what I love is Just You and Me, because that's the first song, either that or Just You and Me is my choice.
Great
but
song.
I was going to say that either that or Feeling Stronger Every Day were the two songs that I really was exposed to Chicago on. Chicago 6, being that I'm 54. So I missed the very first 5 albums because I was too young, really, to, But I went back, of course, and appreciated them. But Just You and Me, because it's such a great piece of music that goes into that beautiful key change in the solo. And when you're talking about the horns, I started really about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even a little longer than that. I got to this point where I started realizing that time, things that aren't going to go on forever, and to actually really just pay attention and take in the moment. Because, some guys were sending some subs out, and it was just starting to kind of evolve, and, people had family issues to deal with, and so it's unavoidable. And all of a sudden, Panko was next to me, and at the end of Just You and Me, baby, you're everything I've ever dreamed of. That note, I've ever dreamed of, that Jimmy's playing the trombone note.
Right.
And I heard this unison with the pitch just so perfect. And it sent chills up my spine going, that's Jimmy Pankow.
Yeah, man.
And that's that song that I remembered hearing on KCBQ, which was an AM station out of Santee, down in San Diego, with Shotgun Tom Kelly. Yeah, you better believe it, baby.
Right.
And there I was standing next to Jimmy Pankow. So just like you, man, I feel the same way. We are in this club that's just incredible.
You know, when I hear the horn, when the horn section on "Hard Habit to Break," that I mean, that is that again, the hair on the back of my neck stands up. There's a certain tone in there, and that sound of Pankow's, that sound. I mean, I would love to hear what it sounded like if he played a valve trombone or a bass trombone, because it's just such a fat sound all the way around. And there's certain songs that I did. Like, I love your voice on Street Player. I mean, you guys don't do that song enough. You know, I mean, when you guys are doing a solo performance, just Chicago, you guys break it out every once in a while. And I think you guys actually did a great song. You guys were rehearsing it earlier at Pechanga when you guys were heading to Mexico, a song that you guys don't normally do, but one of your great ballads. Do you remember a song I'm talking about that Robert was singing on, and you guys were trying to check the song before you guys took off to Mexico? I guess it was like a #1 hit out there.
Down in Mexico.
I'm drawing a blank. You guys were actually rehearsing a song during sound check.
That happened, man.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, and I thought... No, go ahead. I was telling Wally, I said, God, you guys have been doing this song for like 50 years. Don't you guys know the song by now? And he started cracking up because we've got to make sure it's tight because that's the #1 requested song.
It's a weird thing because in the States, it isn't. That's the beauty of having this body of work, is that you have to choose because you can't play all the hits. I mean, that's what a great problem to have.
Right.
But that song, wasn't as big here as the stuff that we end up playing. But I remember one time we were going overseas and we were saying, I think we were doing Happy Man in the States, and we decided let's not do it because it's not really going over that well. And we ended up going into the Philippines, and as we walked through, some of the security said, Chicago! And we're like, yeah, and they go, Happy Man. And I looked at Robert, and he goes, I guess we're doing Happy Man.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And talking about not being a happy man right now, that little red light is flashing again. So we're going to ease ourselves out of segment number 6, and we're going to heading into segment number 7. Hold those thoughts, man. I got to get another 20 years in this next 2 segments, so help me out here, brother. When we get back, we'll be returning with Jason Scheff. This is Jackie Bertoni. You're tuned into Jackie's Groove. Be coming up right after these short messages and take a little pause for the cause. Talk to you soon.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com. Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of universal talk laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal talk laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stars are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. And she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven.
Stairway to Heaven by the West Coast All-Stars, led up by my guest, Mr. Jerry Scheff. Jason, question, my brother. Let's go back and let's talk about the West Coast All-Stars and that song, Stairway to Heaven. I have to ask you a question, brother. Brian Wilson much?
Yeah, it's funny. I never really was super inspired by him, but people have told me that. And, that was a fun project because that was back before we had the ability to really fly all that stuff in. I had to sing all that. And I did most of it. Tommy Funderburk did a little bit of it with me, like the flutes at the beginning, and Bobby Kimball came in on the tough stuff at the end of it. But I had ADATs back then, and it was great. I borrowed Bill Champlin's C12 mic, and it was just a blast.
Bill's coming up in the next couple months also, so I'm really happy with that also. Bill and I work together with a great group out of Las Vegas called Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. So if you haven't made yourself hip to that group, Jason, when you go through Vegas, definitely check them out on Monday night. So I'll give you the 411 on that. Jason, let me ask you this question. It's a question I ask everybody because I'm a narcissist myself. But other than myself, who's the most coolest artist or musician you've ever met? You're supposed to laugh when I said that, by the way.
Other than yourself, right?
Thank you.
It might be everything points to Verdine White.
Yeah. I can hear the world's turning right now.
Yeah, I think it's Verdine.
Well, let me ask you this other classic question. think really hard right now on that phone that is next to you or the phone you're talking into. Who's the most famous person in your phone book?
Most famous person in my phone book. You know what? Probably currently, right now, although it's a funny kind of fame because people don't. Let's see. Let me see. I was going to say John Ledger, the CEO of T-Mobile, who's a buddy of mine.
Yes.
Who's a rock star. This guy's just tearing up the wireless industry, cellular industry, and he's a good friend of mine. We're working on some projects together, actually. I'm working with T-Mobile on some really neat stuff. But he's becoming this just rock star, man. You know,
Have you seen his new venue in Vegas?
No, but he wanted me to fly out with him. He was going to come to the Hall of Fame as my guest, and he texted me and said, I can't believe this, but it wasn't on the books. And check this out. He goes, I have to go out to Vegas to open up the T-Mobile Arena. Can you fly with me? So obviously he was going in his, the private jet, and I'm going, I wish, but I have to rehearse for this. It's April 7th, and then all of a sudden I'm on Periscope. Actually, John was the one who turned me on to Periscope. He was in the audience in Seattle. That's how I met him, and I recognized him. And he had his phone up all night. And I go, God, this guy's really, this guy loves this. He's recording all night. And then when I met him afterwards, he says, no, I was Periscoping. I go, what's that? And he showed me. I jumped on that real quick.
Yeah, man, I watched that arena go up because my wife and I, we frequent Vegas, and it's built right next to the hotel that we always stay at, Monte Carlo, and it's a whole little area called the Park, and it's pretty cool. But the show is not about the Park or T-Mobile Arena. It's about Jason Scheff. So you know what? I asked your husband, Jason, out of all the things you've been blessed with in life, think really hard on this. What is your bucket list itself? What artist would you love to play with that you haven't played with already?
Well, I actually got to work on one of his albums, but he wasn't there. By Elton John being really my biggest original influence. I was lucky enough to sing background vocals on 5 of the cuts on the album he did with Leon Russell, The Union, but He wasn't there. I would love to just work with Elton in the studio, record something with him.
You know what? Never say never, right? Or, watch out what you wish for.
Absolutely. I'm friends with a bunch of the guys in his band, and again, the stuff I'm doing with T-Mobile is geared toward bringing all these entities together.
Jason, before you and I met, Wally always wanted to introduce us because, like you, I've been enamored by your entrepreneurship. Myself too. I have a very large diamond watch company called Bling Group, and I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. And I've had that going on 20 years itself. That's why I've always respected the fact that you have a brain also. Not saying that as musicians we don't have brains, but we have something to fall back on, and that's one thing I've always been attracted to your business sense. And I want to talk to you offline about that. And Wally's always tried to get us together about this, but it's something I think it's overdue that we talk about something like this. So we'll talk about that. Hey, back to the task at hand. Does Jason have a ritual before a gig, preparation to gig, live and or in the studio? What do you do or don't do?
Well, again, having been reminded, and I thought I was taking care of all this until Tony Bennett gave me this subliminal, not so subliminal reminder to do this, to just take care of the instrument. It doesn't take much. And so, vocalizing, warming up before the show so that you're not going out there cold, especially, with a voice, it's important. Mm-hmm. Same thing in the studio, because then you'll be able to keep doing this for a long time, And the cool thing about being with Chicago is we've been together for so long that before we go on, we're just sitting around laughing, and it's not some weird thing where everybody's got to get in the zone and get weird. It's Tris, me, Wally, Keith are in a dressing room together, and as Wally says, even on the bus, we rarely turn the TV on. We rarely turn the TV on because we're just laughing and talking, and as Wally says, we are the TV.
Chopping it up, and guest before the show, yes or no?
Sometimes it works on this double bill thing for some reason.
Right.
But as far as that being a messing with the mental groove before the show, no, there's none of that. There's none of that. Oh, sorry, I can't see you before the show because I've got to spend 20 minutes chanting. And that's fine for whoever needs to do that. But I'm just grateful that it's just a part of our life and an extension of our life. So it's kind of a seamless thing. Oh, okay, now we're going to go up on stage now.
Right. 1 minute left in the segment. Let me ask you a question, 3-part question, and let's see if we can blast through it. Where were you the first time you ever heard yourself on the radio? What song was it, and what were you feeling? 55 seconds. Don't feel pressured.
Well, with Chicago, it was the remake of 25 or 6 to 4, and I think I was in Woodland Hills driving, and I had to pull over to listen to it.
So your feelings were?
Unbelievable. This is just crazy. And then it was brought down to earth because that song didn't take off, so it was kind of like did they make a mistake? Have we made a mistake? Is this finally exposing that they made a mistake, with me? But Will You Still Love Me came after that, big hit, so...
I love, at the end of every Tower Power show, if they don't play You're Still a Young Man, they're lynched. And I think the same thing goes with you guys. If you don't finish up with 25 or 6 to 4, is that the same kind of a vibe? People are expecting to hear that massive tune. Correct me if I'm wrong?
It's absolutely correct. So, it is what it is. It's just a showstopper.
You know what else is correct? Correct is that we're finishing the 7th segment, going into our last segment number 8 of a 2-hour interview with my guest, Jerry Scheff. Great vocalist. How's that for you? You think I've been doing this the rest of my life or my whole life? I think so. Jason, I love you, brother. We'll be back on segment number 8, last one of a 2-hour interview. This is Jackie Bertoni. This is Jackie's Groove. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Jason. Don't go anywhere.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Kinja Dixon was crowned the #1 sales executive through hard work, deep thinking, and the revelation of universal talk laws. He now wants to share these lessons with you. Universal talk laws are what you need to know and use in business and at home to have successful and effective conversations. Kinja Dixon shares his wisdom, action plans, and wealth. Each book comes with a chance to win $10,000. Find Universal Talk Laws at KinjaDixon.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The World Link program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Which sandwich is healthy and tasty? Which sandwich can come on bread or in a bowl? Which sandwich comes 51 different ways, so it's always your way? A which sandwich. Stop into our shop in Hazard Center. We're upstairs from the Hazard Center Digiplex. Bring in your movie ticket. We will add a free drink and chips to your sandwich order. Or order online at whichwich.com, and we will have it ready and waiting. WHICH, WICH. Whichwich.com.
journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jackie Bertoni. This is segment number 8, 2 hours with Jason Scheff. Hey, Jason, the question is, how do you take 30 years plus of your career and cram it into 2 hours? The answer, you don't. So, we're trying to do our best that we possibly can. And, Jason, we all have to be thankful for everybody that's right along with us, the ride or dies, if you will. I want to thank and bring online right now one of my dearest friends, my partner in crime. He's in the studio shoveling away this coal to keep this big ship moving. And I want to bring in and introduce you to Florentino Bonaventura, the CEO of Intertalk Radio. Florentino, Jason Florentino.
Jason, what's up, brother? Long time no talk, right?
Yeah, exactly. At least half a day or something.
Well, 2 hours, right? 2 hours.
Right.
The last time we talked was exactly 2 hours ago. So, man, thank you very much, brother, for coming on Jackie's show and on the network. We are deeply honored. We're also honored to be part of the Win My Bass promotion at winmybase.com. I just think that's just, you got such a big heart, man. I was telling Jackie that, you're such a success, but you're so down to earth. You are just, the salt of the earth, man. And much appreciation, man. I can't say enough about you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, definitely. And, I've been, just experiencing such, a wealth of history from you. I want to also give a shout out to, all the sponsors that made this happen, Pitbull Audio and SIR and all those fun folks, I feel in a really appreciative mood. In fact, I want to give a shout out to all of the, we mentioned Win My Bass. How else can people find out about Jason Scheff?
Well, jasonscheff.com is my main site, and it's a blog that I haven't been maintaining lately, and I love to write. So, having put that out there, I'm gonna start really servicing that site more. So, jasonscheff.com.
And of course, Chicago's website, and to find out about this incredible band that's graced us for so many decades and continues to make just relevant music that empowers so many new groups, as well as inspires players that have been in the business. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, Chicago is revamping their website, and it's going to be incredible. I'm not going to give away the particulars, but definitely go to chicagotheband.com and check out what they're doing there.
Yeah, and you guys are going to be in town in July, right, in San Diego, because we are here in San Diego. Well, you're going to be close by. You're going to be closer to Jackie, which is Temecula area, but or Escondido. But, yeah, we're looking forward to having you out.
Oh, yeah, that's I love that area, too. My mentor, John Austin, who hired me in the People Movers, lives out, in that area, Valley Village. Valley Center.
Yeah. You're going to be at Harrah's. What was that date, Jackie? I don't have any notes.
July, what is it, July?
I think it's 15th. I think it was around this date. Look for July. Look it up, because they're going to be over at Harrah's. That part of it I do know. So you guys got to make it out. Anybody who's listening, it's a must show. It's a must show.
And Jason, I'm talking about everything that we've been thankful for. They always say that you get to a certain level of income, and we struggle as young artists trying to pay for the equipment that we want to use. And then we get to that certain echelon of fame, and then all the equipment is given to us. And obviously, I've been with my companies, LP for 26 years, Vader Drumsticks for 19 years, and Sabian Cymbals for 20. Who do you want to give a shout out to? We already did for your bass. I want to give that again, and also who else is lacing Jason's fingers?
Yeah, D. Lakin Basses, which is Dan's new company. Warwick is a company I've been playing their basses for the last several years, and so I split my, my bass duties with that. I've been kind of just playing the D. Lakin bass on this tour and on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremonies, like I said, exclusively D. Lakin. And let's see, what else? Audio-Technica microphones have been just really wonderful in supporting Waves plugins, great software, as well as the Universal Audio. Universal Audio has a great piece called the Apollo Twin that I use as my my interface, basically at home and out here. So that's really it.
Jason, where are you right now, brother? What state are you in?
I'm in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
You got a gig tonight and a gig tomorrow for your birthday, yes? Anything special going on for your birthday other than playing?
No, it's funny. That's the life we live out here, is that those types of things just kind of come and go. I'm sure there'll be fans in the audience with signs and stuff like that, but that's part of this life, is that you're a lifer and you commit to a family like this, and we don't really make big deals of birthdays. When I go home, which is awesome,
right.
On the 19th, we just we defer those parties and things. So I'll do something really, really nice with my family when I get home.
We talked about stalking Jason Scheff. Also too, I love this site called Periscope, and I got to tell you, I really, really enjoy being on there with Jason. I was there with you guys New Year's Eve, right before you guys walked on in sub-freezing temperatures. Tris was saying that it was the most difficult gig to be playing in a parka and actual snow gloves, and you guys gave us a nice shout out at that time. Also, what new projects are coming up other than Chicago? What new projects for Jason? Do you want to share anything at all?
Sure. Robert Lamb has been really spearheading getting back into recording, as well as Lee Loughnane. But my T-Mobile project I'm really excited about. I'm basically recreating old school stuff.
Excellent. Everybody, I'm hearing the music. I'm hearing Jason saying goodbye. Thank you much, Jason. Jackie's Groove.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Hey, it's Catherine from Listen Local Radio. Moe's Guitars has proudly served the San Diego music community since 1975. Specializing in guitars, basses, mandolins, banjos, and ukuleles, they buy, sell, trade, and consign. If you're looking for lessons, repairs, accessories, and cool gear, you found the right place. Located in downtown La Mesa Village, stop by and check out their digs or visit moesguitars.com or their Facebook page. mozeguitars.com, 619-698-1185.
Take a break from politics. Tune in and learn something. WS Radio shows are worth your time and are filled with tips and advice. Add us to your lunch routine, and we'll give you a meal for your mind.
The richness of your life is reflected in the shimmering elegance found at Diolune Design. One-of-a-kind jewelry and pieces from Cynthia Dillon in silver and gold help to express your unique personality. The flowing designs of her creations will empower the way you move throughout your day. Join us online at DIOLUNdesigns.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.